is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. This is your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Valdecast Windows and Doors, and by Center Guard Plumbing, with your host, Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show is all about your home, inside, outside, everything to do with your house. And I'll tell you what, if you spend the next few minutes with us, you're probably going to pick up a tip or two that you didn't know. Got a special guest today, Mark Portawesi. And Mark, you're with On the Mark Heating, Cooling, and Air. Welcome to the show.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, HVAC is a big thing a lot of people have to deal with. One time or another, I mean, it's your cooling, it's your heat. It's a relatively large investment, and nothing lasts forever. You know, It's mechanical. So in that point of view, tell us if, let's say you're having a problem with either your your AC or your heating, and you need to find a company. Tell us what are the things that you should be asking when you're talking to different people. When you're interviewing somebody that you would like to bring out for, an inspection, a proposal, what are the things that they should be looking for and asking?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if you're looking for new equipment, some of the things that to start with is you want to make sure you're getting a load calculation done. That's number one. And what that does is it tells you what size system you're going to be needing for the house. That's really, really important that they're getting that. Another thing to look for would be to be NATE certified technicians. What most people don't realize in Illinois, there's actually no license for HVAC.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't aware of that, so you don't have to have a license.
No, I could be licensed with a city, but I just basically pay a fee to do that. But there's no continuing license in Illinois. There are some companies that will say that they're licensed, but they might have plumbing and electrical divisions. But if they're HVAC only, there is no Illinois state license for that.
So that's a great question. You want to make sure you ask. What else?
Yeah, so certified technicians, load calculation is really important, and then written guarantees. We've seen time and time again how a system's installed, you just kind of assume it's like a refrigerator. You plug it in, it just works, right? That's not what we're doing. We're really engineering these things from the design process, from when a salesperson comes to your home to the installer that's going to put that thing in perfectly for you as well. So having guarantees that says, if something goes wrong, what are you going to do to back me up? So we offer like a money-back guarantee for 1 year. If something were to happen with the system, God forbid, we'll take care of that for that customer. And that's in writing. And a lot of companies that we see out there don't actually have that in writing.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty unique. So a 1 year guarantee, money back.
Right. If I put a system in right now and I put a furnace and an air conditioner in, you don't know how well you like that AC until May or June, right? So if for some reason it's not delivering on the promises that were made for you, then what are you going to do? You've just spent all this money, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars on these systems that it can get really up there, and then you don't know how well you like it for 6 months.
Yeah.
So then what do you do, right? So that's why those guarantees come into play.
That's really unique and important. What else?
So guarantees, NATE certified technicians, like I said, is really, really important. And getting multiple bids on new equipment is also important. I think, you can learn from contractors, but you don't really want to buy from someone that's just there to sell you something. You want somebody that's going to understand the problems in your home that you have now, and then what they're actually going to do to be able to solve it.
Yeah.
Someone that's, invested in airflow and ductwork and can explain this to you as a consumer is really, really helpful. Instead of them, just trying to sell you the shiny object.
Right. So it's important when you bring somebody into the house or you're looking for it is to not just it can't be just a salesperson. It's got to be somebody that knows everything about it.
Yeah, that's preferred. And they're harder and harder to find. But if you have a guy coming into your home and they're talking about how great a brand X is versus talking about airflow and load calculations, then that's kind of an indicator to tell you that you might have the wrong person, because I've been doing this for 17 years. There are 40 to 50 brands out in the marketplace right now. There's only 6 manufacturers of systems, so they're all essentially the same thing today.
Yeah, so it's like a water heater. There's like 3 people that manufacture them now.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing better than the other one. There's not a Carrier's better than a Lennox. That's not true. Yeah. There's some slight differences, but what you're really purchasing when you're buying an HVAC system, you're buying the design by the salesperson coming out, and you're buying that installation crew. That's what you're purchasing.
Yeah, and that makes sense because in the end, it has gotten to that point now where a brand isn't necessary. I mean, yes, there can be some differences. But the bottom line is none of them are garbage and none of them are incredibly superior, right?
Correct, yeah.
I mean, they all they work well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, some are a little bit – there are some differences, but not enough to make that the game changer. The game changer is the people that are going to do the work and install, isn't it? That's really
100%.
everything.
The craftsmanship, it's still there, right? Like this is a craft that, these installers perfect. It takes years to become a lead installer. And let alone to design it. That's really where this starts, really, is somebody coming in to design the right system for you, to offer you the right solution based on what's important for you as a consumer. Some people that's more important that it's reliable. Some people it's more important that it's comfortable. Some people it's more important that it's energy efficient. And depending on what you're looking for, that design is done by that comfort advisor coming to your home. They design it, but then ultimately that installer still has to deliver on that product. And the brand doesn't have anything to do with it at that point. It's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. So it's important to know what's most important to you when you're talking to that person, too.
Yeah, and that's what we do. So when I come into a home, for example, we sit down usually 15, 20 minutes, and we're just going to talk through your home. How do you use it? Who's in this house? What uncomfortable spots do you have? This is something people do usually once in their entire life when they're going to replace an HVAC system. So if you're and it's in your house for 15 to 20 years, so let's put it in the perfect way, the way that you enjoy it, make it affordable for you, and that's how we do it. It's a consultative, experience with us.
Yeah, and load's a big deal too. I mean, a lot of people really don't take a look at that. They think bigger is better.
Yes.
But you can oversize a home, right?
Oh, very easily. In fact, we see it all the time. I probably downsize people's systems almost 80% of the time. And again, we have a money-back guarantee. Never once have I had to take it out because somebody wasn't happy with it. So what we do is we actually go through your whole home, measure your house. Which way you face to the sun's important. If you're east-west exposure in the front and the back of your house, you get solar gain all day. You might need a slightly bigger air conditioner than you do furnace. The problem is a lot of customers have it where their upstairs is much warmer than their first floor.
That's pretty common everywhere.
Exactly. And we hear it all the time, and people say, well, it can't be fixed. And, I disagree. I can make it much, much more comfortable. And we have plenty of consumers that have that experience through us of being able to make that comfortable. But the common misconception is that it's already hot upstairs. I need more power. I need more cooling.
Right.
And it's counterintuitive, but it would actually make that situation worse.
That makes logical sense, but it's not the case, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about zoning? That seems to be something that a lot of people are talking about now, where you've got the hot upstairs, you got the cold downstairs,
right,
and you do zoning. Is that something that is worth at least taking a look at?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at zoning. There's very few systems that we recommend zoning to, though. We have seen zoning being added on to basic equipment, very entry-level equipment. And when you do that, essentially what's happening is you have that furnace or that air conditioner going full blast. And then when you zone something, you shut off half the ductwork usually. Mm-hmm. So now you got this engine that's revving as hard and fast as it can go, and you took 2 tires off. Okay, it's not going to work very well when you do that. Mm-hmm. So zoning's okay with the right equipment, and we see more often than not that zoning's done in the wrong way. So it can be done, just needs to be with the right equipment.
Now, there are other ways of accomplishing that goal of making the house more comfortable on all levels, right?
Yeah, 100%. There's no one thing to that you're just going to be able to flip a switch and then all of a sudden everything's going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. There might be 10 little things that make 5 to 10% improvements as you go, and ultimately the best option to be replaced with the right equipment that can handle balancing out that upstairs downstairs.
You're listening to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. Mark Portawisi is our guest today. He is from On the Mark Heating and Air. And you want to find out more? And I highly encourage that. Go to the website, onthemarkhvac.com, right?
Yep.
And the phone number is 847-630-9562. Give them a call. They're happy to come by and talk about your system. If somebody is really, really looking at trying to make it a little more efficient. Is efficiency something that makes sense? I've heard from a lot of homeowners that high-efficiency systems are great, but they break down more. Mm-hmm. And then if you go with the 80% efficiency, they seem to be more of a workhorse. Yeah. Is that true or not? I'm talking to an expert. I talk to my people. And, now I'm going to find out for sure. Is that true or not?
More or less. So the high efficient furnaces, for example, they have way more components to them. There are saving you energy, but there is water flowing through the system. There are more parts and pieces to it. So they can maybe not last as long, but along the way, you've saved a lot of energy.
Right.
An 80% furnace is great as well. Not going to give you all the premium comfort you can get on a high efficiency, and then you are, spending basically every dollar you spend, 20 cents of that dollar is going outside. So there are pros and cons, but the lifespan that we've seen between a high efficiency and a 80% furnace are typically within a couple of years of each other on how long they last.
Now, a lot of people will have somebody come into their home. They're having a heating problem. Heat exchanger's down. It's done.
Yep.
At that point, everybody says, get a new system. What do you recommend when that happens?
We can do a heat exchanger. We can replace it. It's essentially like changing the engine in your car, though. You are taking the whole thing apart, and we're not really concerned that, we got to do that piece of it. The concern is more why. Heat exchangers don't just fail. There are a couple of recalls on certain brands and stuff, but overall, we have yet to see a cracked heat exchanger without something else to have caused it. So if we just simply replace that part, it may not solve the root issue. So most times, customers will opt in to just go ahead and replace the system, install it properly, get the right airflow going through the unit, that way you don't have to have that problem happen again.
It's important to get a second opinion on those, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. We do free second opinions on cracked heat exchangers specifically. We find it very often that there's a lot of systems cracked out there, but we're happy to come out and take a look.
All right. It's On the Mark Heating and Air. Mark Portawisi, and the number is 847-630-9562. And you can go to onthemarkhvac.com. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
This is Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper on AM 560, The Answer.
Your go